What is the biggest problem affecting your PDR business? What is the one thing holding you back from taking the next step? What do you need to change to get the business growth you want? All these questions have the same answer. It's your mindset. My name is Corey Kleinfeld, and this is the PDR Coach Podcast, where I coach you on mindset around yourself and your PDR business. Now let's get started. Welcome back to the PDR Coach Podcast. Today on the podcast, we have Mr. Jack Bucknell. And I said that right. If you don't know Jack, then I would recommend you go back and listen to the podcast that Jack and I did, episode number 21. I actually don't even know what episode I'm on, like 90, I believe. So it was over a year ago that we did that. Learn the history of Jack in the industry, how he entered into it, left the in-house situation, all that stuff. You want to know more about Jack, go listen to that. This is not about Jack. Today, this is about what Jack is doing for our industry. So welcome to the show. What's going on, bud?
Thanks for having me on again there, Corey.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I know, we're in the 20 group together, the PDR mastermind group. And I've seen you working on this for a little while.
Yeah, yep. And that group was what made this happen.
Yeah, really did.
I know when we were down at the Anson event this last spring, and that was my accountability thing. I told the whole entire group of everybody in there, guys, for our, what was it, June meeting, I want all you guys to be on my butt about having this course, and I know we've talked about this. I know you've talked about it, but it's like 80% of something's better than 0 of nothing. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I had to come down and do. I just had to, and then now since then, so I got basically the course made up and everything. I was able to be purchased, but I've really fine tuned it. I moved it over to being hosted on my website through PayPal and other.
Nice.
There,
yeah. Just talk about that for a quick second for those people that struggle with this. Cause we all do. Like, you have an idea, a tool, a program, video series, a new way to train people, whatever that is for the industry. Maybe it's even outside the industry. But you don't do it because you have this like expectation level that it has to be to this certain point, which is perfect, which is never achievable before you release it. So then nothing ever happens. Yep. Right. I've experienced that. You've experienced that. How do you get past that? You just get around a group of people and tell everybody, like, if I don't have this done, then kick me out of the group. A lot of
internal struggles. I know I did. And this is something that I've been talking with like Dave Stream would be another one that he was always very on my butt about doing this. And I had monthly coaching sessions with him and Gene for
years, right?
Years. Yeah. 3, maybe 4 years, I think. Actually, I think it was back in 2017. So shortly after I started the business, I got to do a coach call with them. And then that was always one thing that that both Dave and Gene could see was a problem of mine, and I think that's a lot to do with
it's a lot of people.
It's, I think a lot of business owners in general struggle with that, wanting to just get everything dialed in 100%. And it's like, but then you end up with this course that, TC that's in our group, he was telling me to do all this back just about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago in 18, or was it 18, 19? But anyways, to do all this back then, 19, because he was like, Jack, he's like, I would be working for him. I was there for about 2 months, and on my off time, I was working on social media and doing it all on my own and helping him with his. And he was like, Jack, you need to make a course or something where I can purchase this. Have you just handle it? Well, fast forward 2 years, and now it's
finally did it. That's awesome, and I'm really proud to see it out there. And just another quick lesson: like find it. Sometimes it's hard to be the best in the world at something, and maybe, Jack, maybe you're not the best social media expert in the world. However, if you combine PDR and your social media skills together, you are clear cut, if not the best, top 3 at that. Right. And that's what you guys need to find is like those two.
Having an understanding of what needs to be done. I've talked with a lot of dent guys since this has been released, and that was their biggest struggle, was trying to hire a ad agency of some kind or something. Unless you've worked with that ad company or that person and they know your industry, or you didn't hold their hand throughout the entire process, like they're going to be posting up photos of, cars getting washed and tires
Exactly.
and it's like, well, we're not a mechanic, oil change is, like now, I'm not necessarily saying that that's not a bad thing to educate customers on certain car aspect needs to get.
Yeah.
That's something I've started doing actually with some social media stuff, branching off, making a little more car awareness kind of tips, all that kind of stuff. But your ad agency would look at it as, oh, you work on cars, so that means you do everything. Well, no, I don't tint windows. I don't do clear film. I don't detail. I don't do oil changes, and having a dead guy or somebody in your industry, that's huge. I mean, to where like right now, I mean, the clients that I've got on that I'm doing the social media stuff for, like they can just have photos, upload them. They don't have to tell me what to type. Most of them don't even want to tell me anything to go off of. They're just like, just make a post and have it look good. You work your magic. Like, if I wanted to do it, I would do it myself, but I'm having you do it. So you just handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And so, and I know a little bit about the program, but just to reiterate, so Jack loves social media and loves the marketing aspect, and we'll work all day on pushing metal and then spend all night tweaking a post. Right. I think that how far out are your social media posts scheduled to be released without you having to do anything else? Just as a fun.
Well, they technically can be
recycled
essentially, but I had over like just about a year's worth of content.
So if Jack decided to just go chase hail,
that's without posting anything at all. So like literally back last November, so 1 year ago, I started this program and implemented it through that time frame. And as of probably January, I suppose, like that was with learning the process, getting all the content, posting. I have all the content. The content's not the hard part for me.
Yeah.
But it's creating all the posts. Well, I went through and made 11, 12 months of posts and and a lot of these are Instagram daily posts. So you figure I post every single day on Instagram, 3 times a week on Facebook, 3 times a week on LinkedIn, 3 times a week on Twitter, whatever you guys want. But like, that's how I have it set up for mine. If I remember correctly, that's the best thing. Like I haven't even had to look. I don't even know what it is still because it's just.
You already said it. Yeah.
I've already got it set up. I've already dialed it all in. I did it all myself. And, you'll have they've done a couple software updates with the programs that have caused a couple little minor like flutters, but it's like, very minimal. Like a lot of times it's just like re-authenticate or re-log into your account. Like, okay, it sends you an email. Oh, it's not posting on Facebook because you need to re-log in to reset this for whatever reason, an update, whatever. And it's just done. Sure. That was easy, so.
Yeah. So I think one of the hardest things about obviously social media is the clear-cut best way to advertise for free, period. There's no other option that's better. You can spend money on these things, but the daily posts, the hardest part about it is sitting down every single day and making a post, right? That's the hardest. Actually, like you could go on a roll and do like 5 days in a row, and then like something happens and you forget, and then you're like, I lost my streak. I might as well just not, I'll skip. So committing yourself to sitting down and scheduling these things out, or whatever. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. You have multiple options, basically, from someone who wants to do it themselves to someone who, well, let's say I tell a lot about you either have time or money to spend. So if someone has more time to spend and they want to do this and kind of learn from Jack, you have an option for that. If you don't have time, but you have more money and you just say, hey, Jack, you're the man, go do it. You have an option for that as well.
Yep. Multiple different
explain those.
Multiple different categories of those 2 options. So for example, let's say, let's go with the do-it-yourselfer kind of route. So a person that wants to get involved in this, maybe you have the content and you want to know how to use a program to do cross social media posts. So post up to 5 different, essentially creating one post for 5 different social media platforms. That includes Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google My Business. Now, I know I've had this discussion with so many different people, and people are like, well, I don't see a lot of traction on Twitter, and LinkedIn seem like a wasted space. And part of me, I'll kind of agree with you there. But when you go onto the first page, now everything's always changing on Google, but when you go onto Google's first page and you type in perhaps my business name or a variation of, dam repair Sioux Falls or something like that, my LinkedIn and or Twitter page are more often than not on the first page of Google. Now it might be down at the bottom, but it's just another social media platform that you're on, and it makes you own the front page of Google. So you've got obviously your first post or your first, payment ads on Google. So I always go back to Google because to me, that's where everybody's going to search us.
Yeah, that's everybody. Yeah.
But having a social media presence on those platforms, whether you get a lot of engagement or interaction or calls from that platform or whatever, it's still very important to be on them because they will rank in Google. So so going back to the Google example, the top of the page is always a paid ad, which I'm always paying for ads, which that's expensive, but that's
that's a whole nother podcast episode.
And then the first organic listing, which is the first unpaid, you can't pay for this. Well, I mean, you kind of can't essentially, but like, you're not going to just shove $1,000 at it and be at the top of the list. It takes time to build your website to rank organically.
Right.
And then number 2 is typically Facebook. And then, down the page might be my YouTube ad, sometimes 3, 4, 5, or not YouTube ad, a YouTube channel link, and then Twitter or LinkedIn, whether it be my personal LinkedIn or business LinkedIn. It kind of cycles back and forth, but that's why you need to be on those social media platforms and be posting, is because that stuff does help your ranking in Google, and just having more content out there, more ways for people to see. I mean, there's a lot of people that are on Twitter all the time. I personally don't use Twitter like really at all. I use it basically just for my business to post, and I don't even anyways.
Yes. So I Googled you, and yeah, you're organically at the top. Your Facebook page is there. Scroll down a little bit further. I'm on a phone, so there's no actual pages. I'm just scrolling, but you got then your LinkedIn is there, YouTube is there, Instagram is there, your Twitter is there. But these are the things though. It's like, literally to try to go on Instagram, make a post, you can cross post to Facebook pretty easily, then go to Twitter, then go to Google My Business, and then go to LinkedIn, and all that. Like, you can't do that. It's not going to happen. And so, in a way, you have a way to organize all of these things to where you can schedule a post and it can post to all these things at once. So you might as well post it to Twitter and to LinkedIn. I mean, shit, you're probably gonna be one of 12 dent guys in the country that do that. So it can't hurt.
The big guys with the big followings, like I know Mike Toledo would be a big one. Dent Time, he got a ton of followers on every other platform, but you don't see you don't see 50 to 100 hearts on Twitter. I mean, maybe now, I don't know. I haven't been on there for a long time. But I mean, I just know that, I know Ryan Shutt with he's always posting on there a lot. And, Dan with, the Dent guy, Dan Rakiki, he's posting on there a lot, again, and I'm doing it all the time as well, but it doesn't really matter. It's just still you on Google.
It's another spot. So talk about you have 3 packages.
Essentially. Right. So basically there's the package where you pay for a 18 video walkthrough course. So what it is basically a screen capture of you looking at my monitor, and I'm talking in the bottom corner or whatever way. And I'm going through the program step by step. I had to really take a step back and just really dive like very thorough into it. It's very easy for me to just be like, oh yeah, just click over here and do this and this and this. Like, whoa, slow down here. Like, where did you click? What did you do this? So that was one thing that I know I had a little bit of a struggle doing, is like, because you get in your rhythm. It'd be like a dent guy fixing a dent. Like when you're starting to explain how to do it and
really
down
tough,
to details, you're really having to really kind of think about it, even though you don't have to think about it to do it, if that makes sense.
No, totally. Yeah. It's like, we forget that we used to have to drag the tip of our tool to find where the dent was, right? We're just like, so you get a tool and you get to the back of the dent and push on it. Oh, wait. No, there's 17 steps in between there. So you break down, and this is what sounds like to me the least expensive option, the least amount of jack involved in the process. Buy the video course. I'll teach you everything I know about doing all this, how to take great shots specifically for dent repair. I'm assuming
that's another course. So basically there's multiple different variations of courses that you can purchase. There's 3 of them. One of them's free. It's getting started with Google Drive. Basically, that's just a free one. Yeah. So if a person wants to sign up and use my services, it gives them a video course on how to get me the files in order to use them correctly. That one's a free one. And it works really well. I mean, there are people that, want to share, media with, their web guy, and they put them on Google Drive or something like that. So it's kind of and it's going to be a good idea. It's going to give you a general idea as far as how the video course is set up, because it's set up on the same platform. It looks very similar. It's just a screen recording of my laptop screen. Now, not like a camera looking at the screen and all crappy. It's the actual physical screen pulled off the system, and then me talking to basically a web camera. The next one would be, get started automating your social media posting, which is the one we're talking about. That is 18 videos in its entire program. We talk anything from, uploading photos into the system, using built-in stock images, which are basically kind of generalized photos. So like if you're making something, anyways, talking about how to create posts, set up categories, optimize for each platform, how to use hashtags, certain hashtags tools that I use in order to optimize your hashtags, instead of just going in there into, let's say, Instagram and typing in a hashtag and then looking at, oh, well, there's a lot of views for this one. Okay, well, now I'm going to type in another one. Well, that works. I did that for a long time, but it's very time consuming. Sure. And then working with the calendar system inside the program in order to make your posts, post at optimized times and stuff like that.
Inside the scheduling program that posts to all social medias.
Yes. Yep. And then you can look at it across the board and see like, all right, well, at 8:00 in the morning on Tuesdays is the best time to post on Twitter. Okay, well, I'm going to make my posts go out at that time. Like I'm not analyzing that system, but this system is, so I'm going to take its word for it. Yeah. And it does change. So I do recommend if you sign up with the services, I'd have to go in and look exactly what it is, but basically it's like every few months I would recommend to have that looked into, which is an additional amount. I don't even remember what it is. Yeah. It'll tell you the program here when I pull it up. But anyways, and then the next, the third option for a course that you can purchase, to where these are now hands-on by me. These are just you doing it yourself. So it's me showing you how to do it. And then from there, like, it's going to be a very good walkthrough as far as how to do it yourself. This next one is going to be how to easily edit your photos on your phone. So everybody's, taking photos of damage or whatever we're working on or anything. And you got a photo and you just got this real bland looking photo and you're going, all right, well, I'm just going to put that online. Well,
that's what I do. I'm terrible at social media.
There's nothing wrong with that, but
it's better than doing nothing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's better than doing nothing, but there's some small things and programs and things that you can do specifically at the visual aspect of the photo to make it pop and look better, but also on the back end of the photo to make it rank better in Google. So for example, Google does not physically, they don't have a person actually looking at your photo and going, oh, wow, a car with a dent. It's a white Honda or whatever. Like you can edit that information into the back end of the photo to tell Google what is in this photo. So, I mean, you can get into like, just basically loading it up with keywords if you wanted. So like, let's say you've got a hail damage photo and you're in, I don't know, whatever, Dallas, Texas. Okay. So you take a photo at your shop location. You set the location tag on that photo to being at your shop. Now, I know there are programs on cell phones that do capture the location, but I always recommend to audit that and check that and make sure it's correct, because a lot of times it's not correct. To where like, maybe you're a hail chaser and you're a mobile guy like you, Corey, and you're at another body shop or something, and you want to tag that photo as far as being taken there, but then have your information tagged onto that photo. So, I mean, you can get kind of all into this, but basically telling Google what the photo is and where it was taken is very important, just as much as editing it and making it look nice for social media aspects. Yeah.
So if you guys can hear the passion that Jack has with this, and half the words, probably people are like, I don't understand. That's the point, right? So you can buy the video course. He's going to teach you all this probably in a slower pace. I'm not insulting. I'm just saying, like, I can hear your passion. I can see your passion. Hopefully that people can pick up on that and understand that, like, Jack made this because he loves this stuff. It's intriguing to him. He spent the amount of time he spends on learning this stuff and then packaging it down into our PDR industry and giving it to you guys for way cheaper than it would if you went and learned all this stuff on your own, the amount of time and hours it would take to do that. So if you're a little confused and you don't understand all the words that Jack is saying about how to do that, totally fine. that's why he made the course. So I just wanted to say that.
No, it's funny you bring that up, because I can feel myself wanting to talk faster than I'm talking. I gotta.
There's so much good info. I just need to like play it on 3 times speed on the podcast. Yeah. Yeah. So just to be clear, I think people can hear that, and I can do that sometimes. I try really hard to slow myself down as a professional 90 episode podcaster, but you can hear it and feel it. So that's great. So the intro package, video courses, series, all the things he's talking about, you can learn. That's the least expensive option. If you want more of Jack's time, more of Jack to do things for you instead of just teaching you how to do it, there are options for that. So skip the middle option, go from, buy the video course, learn it yourself, to like, what can you, like, if I would just want to hire you, I'm like, Jack, I got some great photos of cars. I would like you to make my business have more customers through social media. What do you do?
So I've got a couple different options as far as doing the packages per person. So this is me physically doing the work for you.
Sure. In
general. So I've got 3 different classifications as far as there's like a getting started package, which is basically like, a small tip of the iceberg, a pretty minimal amount of posts. Basically what it is it comes down to, first off, this first category, and the most important thing is you cannot provide any of the content. It's all stuff that I have and that I'm using because it's the cheapest route to go.
Instead of trying to get stuff from us, coordinate, that's not good enough.
I've already run into some headaches and that, I'll be honest with you. So on this lower end package, I decided not to even give that option as far as no user provided content, because it's just too time consuming. Like I could do that, but I'd have to make it the entry level course or entry level assistance a lot more. So I figured I'd rather have it start off on a lower price point, so to where maybe the person needs to just get their foot in the door and see what I can do. And again, it's very minimal. It's 1 post a week on all 5 platforms, optimized for the specific platform and time.
All the tags you're talking about, all the
tags and stuff are already done. It's going to consist of pretty basic content. So as far as before and afters, generalized pictures of technicians working, whether it be physically me. So I'm going to, on those types of photos, I don't use my actual face or anything that's going to be tied directly to me. It's going to look like a dent guy working on a car. So whether it be me or another technician or a friend of mine or something, or a stock image of some kind, or something that's going to apply to our industry, that's what you'd be getting. And then also basically kind of your general stock images of real cars in photos. So whether it be a stock image or a picture that I've actually taken, a hailed out, hood on a vehicle. Like I took that photo. Okay, well, that's just considered just a general image.
Sure.
And then 3 hashtags per post, 1 being specifically your business name and 2 are personalized to the post. So, hashtag hail damage, hashtag painless damage repair, something like that. Again, very, very basic. So I want to set the stage on, this is a very basic package to where don't be expecting to get, the Taj Mahal at, McDonald's pricing, whatever you want to call it. So typically, depending on how many weeks are in the month, typically you're looking at 20 to 25 posts a month. That's between, that's every post,
like every day,
all categories. But it's going to be on different category or different platforms. So like it might post, it's literally 1 post per week on each platform. So you might only post, Tuesdays on Instagram and then every Tuesday or whatever. Anyways, the next package is definitely a lot more involved. It's about double the amount of posts, or actually more than that. You're looking at, depending on the platform, basically 2 posts per week on a platform, 3 on Instagram specifically. This middle package allows you to provide your own content, but there is strict regulations on the content. So if you send me a crappy photo, that's another thing I did want to message here, mention on this. The content that you provide me that you want me to use has to be ready to be used. So I'm not going in and adding your text to the image. I'm not adding a logo to the image, and it just because that first off, you can buy the course to do that for $50, and I don't.
It's $50.
The photo course is $50.
Okay.
$50. Yeah, I mean, like it's a no brainer. And I guess they talk about pricing on the first. So the do-it-yourself social media campaign package is $297. Let me click on that to make sure. Just make sure. It's paid all through PayPal. Yeah, $297. You can pay all through PayPal, and then you will get a basically an email through PayPal. So I've had multiple people reach out to me after they purchase it. They're like, "Hey, I never got a login and password." Well, it goes to your junk mail, or you need to.
Sure.
I know I'm guilty that email gets lost in my email box all the time. So
yes,
it's not a hard feeling when somebody calls me going, hey, I didn't get that email. It's like, well, it's probably lost in.
It's there somewhere. Yeah.
It's there somewhere. And I just tell you, check your junk box or search for, PayPal. And they're like, oh yeah, I found it. No big deal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Anyway, so yeah, the do it yourself video package with 18 videos total is $297. And then the additional, I think it's 8 videos for the how to take a picture of your dent or how to spice up your photos and stuff like that is another $50 for that.
Yeah, so it's $350.
It's going to show you multiple different programs, and that's actually literally a screen recording on my phone with me talking over like voiceover on it, and showing it. So note to self, it is on an Android device, so I know I get.
God!
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man. And actually, I have contemplating now that I have an iPhone, thanks to Amanda.
I know.
I might. I don't know. I figured if I got enough interest on people pushing me to it, I might consider it. But honestly, I don't know how to use an iPhone, so I'd be.
So everybody just message Jack on Instagram and say like, "I'll buy your course when you make it iPhone specific." And then he'll do it.
That the programs that were talked about, I know one of them specifically, the photo editing one, is available on iPhone. Trying to think on I think the EXIF or the backend imaging editing stuff was Android, but there are multiple different programs out there, and I checked it on iPhone that are very, 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 very
near similar. Yeah.
So if you got any questions on any of that, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you or get you.
How long? So if someone hires you on the higher end stuff to do posts for them, is it a month? Is it a monthly setup? How long do you recommend someone stick with this before they see a potential return on engagement? And I know it's a social media problem. People are like, I'm gonna start social media, they make a post and they get 1 like and it's their mom or something, right? And they're like, this stuff doesn't work. I made 6 posts this week. What am I supposed to do? Right? How long do you recommend someone?
It's very, very difficult, especially Facebook being probably one of the most difficult, because I post, at least 3-4 times a week, and I don't get very much for engagement or interactions. Now that's an actual person clicking or commenting on the post. Now, actual people seeing it is okay, but you have to know where to look and find that information. So you might look and see, oh, wow, I posted up a really nice photo and I got 3 likes. Okay, but how many people saw it? Oh, 120. Okay, well, I mean, that's not.
Put those people in a room and see it. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah. So, and then it's, on my Facebook page, I don't know, I've got 800 to 900 likes. The only way you're going to get your content in front of a lot of those people is to pay Facebook. Facebook is just in the last, so I've been in business 4.5 years now, and the amount of engagements, I mean, I can literally go back and look at back in 2017, the amount of engagements and people I had on my posts was through the roof. It was awesome. But now Facebook is just slowly dwindled down to where, if you're not going to pay us, we're not going to show your stuff.
We all know the algorithms, right? You don't like, I have like, I don't even know, thousands of friends on Facebook or something like that, or 1,000. I don't even know, to be honest with you. Maybe 500. I don't know, but I don't see all their posts. Bottom line. So there's that, but is there like, there's no minimum requirement, I suppose, to do it, but how long do you encourage people to
at least
stick with
months.
At least 3 months.
3 months.
And then you can see then maybe you can compare the differences between when you first started to 3 months later and say, hey, it is moving in the right direction.
So to start getting traction on Twitter and LinkedIn for myself, again, I almost never used it before, 1 year ago, basically. I mean, I'd get on there every once in a while. But it took 6 months before I even saw that stuff popping up on the front page. And I was like blown away. I'm like, whoa, like Twitter and LinkedIn are like both jumping back and forth between page 1 or top
funny,
whatever. And something that I didn't even think of being like, I was just like, whatever, I'll just post on there just for the heck of it. But then when I saw it on Google, I'm like, okay, well, I'm really glad that I went on ahead and did that, because it's just another avenue to make you look like the authority of your business.
Like, this guy's everywhere. Yeah.
Like
you search Sioux Falls dent repair, like I just did, and out of the top 15 items, Jack is half of them. at least without really digging into it further. But that's authority. Like when someone's deciding what to do and they scroll by and they're like, okay, Sioux Falls dent repair. Okay, Sioux Falls dent repair. Okay. It's like, okay, well.
And then you follow up that, and I know you and me are really big into this, but like then you follow into getting like a CRM system. So we don't need to get off on quite that tangent, but just yesterday I had a customer compliment me on how impressed he was with me just being a single owner business. I mean, the guy that's wearing all the hats.
He showed up and he's like, where's everybody else?
Yeah. He's like, man, I really appreciate, I saw your stuff online. You got really good content. You were following up with me on text messages and emails and appointment confirmations. And then he's like, well, if you wouldn't mind, send me a Google link. And I'm like, it's already going to be coming out to you.
It's coming. You're good.
You just haven't left the shop yet. It'll be coming to you by the time you get to the end of the driveway. So So So
that's, what, dude, like the social media, the internet world we live in now, the greatest thing about that is that myself and you and all the other dent guys out there have the most unique opportunity ever in the world to look like a large business and not actually be one. And that's huge. Like 20 years ago, not possible, right? You got to have call centers. You got to be mailing stuff. You got all these things. And now, like, I don't think people are impressed enough with the abilities that we have. Yeah. CRM system costs some money per month. Hiring a social media manager costs some money per month. And these things, but you have the ability to, as a 1 or 2 man group, to look like a large business. And we've done that here at Denpro. We have 5 people, so a little different, but and we have other people doing other things, but we are able to look like people still think, oh, you're like a massive franchise. I'm like, no, not really. We just kind of play that angle that we look like we show up in similar looking vehicles and all, whatever. You have the ability to look like a large professional business. And quite frankly, in the blue collar tradesman world, people want that. If you can actually call them back and do what you say you're going to do and provide a good product, like that's literally 90% of the battle.
Mind blowing to me on how many people thank me for calling them back.
It's like, unbelievable. Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, oh, thanks for calling me back. I appreciate you getting back to me. And I'm like, who are you talking to on a regular basis from a business that is just, but we've seen it, construction companies or
roofer, cement guy,
roofers, Jesus, man. I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, the thought of to be that busy with work to just disregard people calling me. Like you literally are kind of going back. I remember Keith with Keith Cosentino mentioning on this day in the podcast, him saying something along the lines of like how dent guys get upset when their phone rings in the middle of a repair. Literally paying money to have that guy call you to give you money for a repair, and you're mad. Like,
it's a change of mindset. Like it's a change of perspective on that customer, 100%. And then honestly, this entire podcast, hiring someone like you, like a CRM system, like we said, hiring someone to run ads, build a website, do your SEO, all those things. Those are all a different perspective on mindset and looking at your business. So like, I'm a small business. I don't need to do that stuff. No, you don't need to do that stuff. But when you can impress people, that customer that came to Jack will never call anybody else, period. He's a customer for life. And everybody that ever talks to that dude and needs something done with their car, he's gonna be like, yeah, just call Jack. The dude's like he just will handle anything, and that's how you build a brand. That's how you build a business that lasts for 20 or 30 years, is to just go above and beyond.
And I tell people also, another big thing is, tell them if you need anything automotive, call me first. If I don't know, I'll be able to find somebody that does whatever you need. I got a wheel guy, I got a window tint, I got a clear film guy, I got a detail guy. I mean, just the customer that was here right before our podcast I was talking to you about, he asked me about the detail shop, and I told him, I've got this guy, let me give you some cards. They'll be able to take care. This guy's going to be really, really busy and probably won't be able to get you for 3 months. You take that.
The best.
So I mean, it's got to mean something to somebody. So
I hope for the industry and for you, Jack, that people can take what we learn in this podcast and implement it, at least learn it themselves or hire you or get more involved in learning how to make their business look like a much larger, more legitimate, more professional business. Because that's really when we talk about the biggest problem in the PDR industry is no one knowing we exist, is because we don't take a lot of people don't take this business as a professional, high-end automotive reconditioning business. Once we start doing that, we'll see things shift. So tell everybody how they could find this program.
It's real simple. You can get a hold of me on any of the social media platforms, Jack Bucknell, or type out Sioux Falls at Sioux Falls Dent Repair.
Can you spell that for us?
SIOUX is Sioux, and then Falls, FALLS, Dent Repair. So you can find me on all the social media platforms. On Twitter, I think it's at Sioux Falls Dent, if I remember right. I don't know. I don't go on there. So
yeah. Don't reach out to him on Twitter.
Yeah, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram are going to be my two biggest ones. And then also, feel free to go ahead and message me personally, Jack Bucknell on Facebook. And then also for the actual packages, if you want to learn more on that, go to my website, SiouxFallsDentRepair.com. So SIOUX Falls Dent Repair, all one word. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page into the footer of the basically of the front page, or any page for that matter. And there's a big red box in the bottom of that page. It says, "Are you a PDR tech that needs help with social media? Click here." I mean, it's big, bright. I told Dave and the guys to just make it stand out. Just go to my website, SiouxFallsDentRepair.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and click on the big, huge red button. And then you'll have from there, let us do it for you, or learn how to do it yourself. You can click on whichever option or browse each option that works for you. And then from there, like I said, I've got 3 different packages for me doing the social media for you, or I've got 3 different style video courses that are related to, you doing it yourself, essentially. And I've got a couple different, like I said, packages, different reasons for different packages on what the person's trying to, do. Are they just trying to get just some type of general presence known? Are they trying to get kind of a little bit more well-known? Or they just want to dominate the ever-living crap out of the industry? Well, I've got 3 different packages. Basically, what would Jack do? Or I like to call it take massive action. That was a direct thing from Gene Fetty, mutual friend here. And basically each package is all lined out, what to do. And if you guys got any questions, again, feel free to hit me up on any of the social media channels. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. And again, one more time, the SiouxFallsDentRepair.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll see a big red button that says, "Are you a PDR tech that needs help with social media?" Click here, click there. And from there, you'll be able to get access to the courses. If you have any questions, like I said, on any of it, feel free to.
And that is the title of the podcast. Are you a PDR tech that needs help with social media? Click here. All right, bud. It was fun times. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely, man. Thanks again for having me on there, Corey.
All right. See ya.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of the PDR Coach Podcast. If you got any value from this podcast and want to do something for me, then the best way to do that is to subscribe to the podcast and give me a rating and review. If you want to know more about me, then you can find me on Instagram by searching for the PDR Coach, or find me on my website at CoachCoreyK.com, CoryK.com. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back next week.